Hey, this is Jurgen Rasmussen. Welcome to the Provocative Hypnosis vlog. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of keeping it real, both as an agent of change, as a trainer, and also if you're considering doing change work or attending a course as a participant. So I'll give an example of why I think this is so important. I just came back from the UK Hypnosis Convention where I did a presentation. And the night before my presentation, someone asked me, "What are you presenting about?" And this was a person who had done some training with some well known organizations, but hadn't really seen any clients. And I said, my topic is about screw ups, failure cases, and what I've learned from them. And he looked at me and he said, do you fail with clients? I said, yes, I have tons of failures. I've had plenty of people who haven't changed throughout my 26-year long career, and it still happens. And he looked at me and his shoulders dropped and he said, thanks. And thanks for admitting that. It was a huge relief. And in that moment, I had two responses. One was of sadness, and the other one was of joy and hopefulness. The sadness being that it's sad that we still have a culture in the world of hypnotherapy and NLP and change work where so many are still reluctant to admit to failures. Hopefulness in the sense that it just reinforced how important this message is. And the next day, I spent an hour kind of poking fun at many of my own failure cases, where I kind of defined failure in two categories. A, the client who comes in, say for fear of flying, who after several sessions is still as scared of fear of flying, for example, where if I were to re-see the client today, I would have some ideas of how I could approach things differently to increase the chances that the client would meaningfully respond. And the other category being, you know what? If you gave me that client again, I really have no clue what I could have done differently. Those two categories. And also, I'm a lucky bastard. For about 6 years, I had a very close, informal mentoring relationship with John Grinder, the NLP co founder. And he was so generous and he shared so much stuff with me. But the single most valuable thing I got from Grinder, I think, was just seeing him fail, seeing him work with people and not get anywhere. Of course, I intellectually knew that that was the case, but it was something visceral about seeing that and acknowledging that. So, and also, most therapists and are hypocrites. Because consider this, clients are very often clients due to coming in at a time in their life where their own narratives, their own mythologies about who they are and how things work aren't quite working for them in life. So they're going to have to experiment a bit and try some new things, try on some new perspectives. And they're going to fail. It's going to seem risky and scary to some extent. That's what we're asking of our clients. But then you have these therapists and coaches and hypnotherapists who kind of lean back and go, I'm not taking any risks. I'm I'm just going to follow protocol. Or the psychologist is going to go, I'm just going to do these state mandated bureaucratic checklists. I'm not going to risk anything or admit to any flaws or reveal any of my messy humanity ever. I'm just going to keep this stoic facade of, and it's hypocritical. They're asking the client of exactly the responses and qualities that they themselves refuse to reveal or show. Now, here's the thing about trainings. A good trainer knows how to select the proper subjects, right? but they present it as random. When you go home from the training courses and you start seeing actual clients, you're going to get a lot of the people as clients who your trainer knew to avoid. And as a result of that, you're going to have to work with these people in ways that that your trainer has never demonstrated. And you've never had likely the chance of seeing your trainer fail or the client push back or to see the trainer improvise. And that's exactly the skills you will have to need to be able to effectively work with people. And trainers who don't make their students aware of this, in one way, you can't blame the trainer because they kind of have to demonstrate what they're demonstrating and you're looking for the best subject. But an ethical trainer will do his best to make you aware that working with clients is a very different context than the training room, and also not only select clients who are a great fit for whatever they're demonstrating. The ethical aware trainers will do that. If your trainer doesn't do that, that's a red flag, in my opinion. If your trainer presents or gives the impression that it's all about congruence and confident and that they have these protocols that pretty much always work, that's a red flag. Everyone fails. Everyone has a lot of client failures, Not being willing to own up to that or to admit that, that's a major red flag. Your trainer is not being honest with you, not being real with you. And they're kind of abusing their client for their own gain, meaning this is all about that person's perceived need for being powerful, special, important, compassionate, a savior, whatever you want to call it, and then projecting that the client then needs to have 100% shifts and results. They need to see their client that way to kind of enhance their own identity as special or powerful or whatever it might be. But this is an immature person, right? Not a mature professional. So know that whether you're seeking help, everyone fails. Everyone has failure cases. Be honest about it. Be straightforward about it. In the end, the clients, the students, the trainers, everyone really benefits. Um, at least at the level of having a conscience and being real about things, you benefit. Although I have to admit that there is no shortage of people with highly narcissistic traits standing on podiums and stages, drawing huge crowds of students who buy into this bullshit. People with strong degrees of dark triad traits um, seem to do quite well in these professions as charismatic trainers or thought leaders or gurus. So that's something to look out for in particular. I think this, though, I think the biggest mistake is to not allow yourself to make the mistakes. It's kind of a paradox. And the trick is to make new and more interesting mistakes. I mean, it even goes back to our school systems. There's so much emphasis on having the right answer, but in most areas of life, there isn't necessarily a right answer, and we are very often not encouraged to ask better questions or new questions or evaluated by the quality of our questions, right? So that's my message for today. Um, if my message resonates with you and you want to explore whether you could be a good fit as a client, know that I do client work, I do mentoring. You can reach me at provocativehypnosis.com. I'm also, if you're watching this in 2023 in November, I'm doing a free webinar titled The Myth of Traumatic Memories. It's on November 28th, 6:30 p.m. UK time. You can find the information on provocativehypnosis.com, the seminar page. I'm also doing a psychological illusion model seminar early next year. So take a look at the seminar page. Thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll see you soon.